Hey everyone, Jen Lee with Lawyer Success Network and Rebel Esquire. And I want to do a quick live on what the Building a Bankruptcy course modules look like and what we're adding for content. I had a few questions on that and wanted to clarify. So let's share. Of course, I have a PowerPoint because who doesn't do a PowerPoint on a Saturday morning? So just a module, an overview. It's real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what the content was. So the Bankruptcy Practice from Start to Finish is an online course that I launched about 4 years ago. At the very beginning of the pandemic, we thought bankruptcy would be booming, and then it didn't. But guess what? Bankruptcy is back. Filings are up over 16%, I believe, for the past year, and 40% for businesses. So I'm doing this live in 2 days in October, October 4th and 5th, because a lot of people tend to get courses and then not finish them because it's it's hard to do a course sometimes. You don't have time. And so the reason why I'm doing this live is to be able to answer questions live during the course itself, and then also to give the ability to just set aside 2 days and do it and be accountable for it. So I have all of the modules out there that are listed, and we're adding on technology to all of them as far as client automations, integrations, and ChatGPT or AI. I use ChatGPT for as my Kleenex out there of AI, but adding that into all these. So, for example, in the first four modules, we talk about before you even get started, what does profitability look like? What does revenue forecasting look like? What kind of practice do you want to create? And we get a little bit into technology again in that first module for the added on content. But then in first steps, we're talking about how to get your admissions, how to get your local rules, where to find them, why do you need local rules? All those kinds of fun things is the second module that we go through. And malpractice coverage is also in module 2. Module 3 does a lot of updates too. Practice software, there are bankruptcy softwares, there are practice management softwares. I go through several of them. I've used almost all of them for bankruptcy softwares. And so I'll go through the ones, the pros and cons of all of them. I don't recommend anything specific because they all have pros and cons. So you have to go with what works for the style of practice that you're going to have. The things that we're adding on to the practice software module include automation software, ChatGPT, how you can integrate all those things together to create less of a administrative process, manual process on your side. So module 3 has quite a few updates on automated things that we can do with practice software, document drafting, client communications, that kind of thing. And then we get into practice logistics. Do you need a website? The answer is probably yes, but we'll go through some of that. Talking about office space and virtual meetings, a lot has changed. So when I had a virtual law firm for a really long time before COVID, but it wasn't the norm. And so now we're updating with what the current status is on office space and how you can operate without having to have an office if you want to have an office. Talk about that too. Some of the automation stuff we're including here is scheduling tools, managing virtual conversations with AI. What are the options for that? Intake, how do we make intake easier? What are the tools out there for that? And follow-up communications. So that's where we're adding in the AI and automation to module 4. Next set of modules, very quickly, modules 5 through 8. So module 5, we talk about the client process. I think this gets missed a lot with how clients find you, how you want them to schedule appointments, what kind of scripts and systems you have for intake, and how do you get that initial appointment, what do you ask them to bring. That's all in module 5. Streamlining this with AI is really cool. There's all kinds of great dynamic intake forms you can use, automating initial client interactions, reduce your administrative time and money that you're spending into running a law firm with the bankruptcy client acquisition process. And then we go into the actual initial consultation in module 6. The initial consult in in bankruptcy is very important. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So we go through like, do you do free? Do you want to do paid? What are the pros and cons of that? What are some of the disclosures that are required? Do you have an agreement for the initial consult? What do you present to the client at the end of the initial consult? How does your model want to work? And this isn't giving you like, this is how specifically you should do it. It's giving you more of, here are all the options and here are the things to think of when you're designing out your bankruptcy practice. And then quoting prices, what does that look like? Of course, with ChatGPT, there's all kinds of things you can do to draft common client queries. You can create personalized communication scripts using AI. You can use it to track compliance and disclosure issues after your initial consult. Also, we'll talk about module 6. And then module 7 and 8, we're going to talk about bankruptcy basics, first chapter 7 and 13. So this course was designed to give you the tools to add bankruptcy to practice area, and that would not be complete without actually talking about bankruptcy. So this is a huge chunk. When we recorded this and the online course that many people bought, module 7 and 8 actually have 2 subparts to them because there is so much information. So happy to talk about bankruptcy all day, every day, but that's what module 7 and 8 are for. There's not a lot of automation and AI that we talk about in those 2 modules because there is so much content about how to learn bankruptcy. And I will say the other thing that I've added on over the years is people who buy the course, whether they do the live or the recorded version, also get access to a lot of additional modules that I have recorded over the past few years and will continue to do. Terminology, dischargeability issues, divorce and bankruptcy. So when you buy the course, you're getting updated content as well. Finally, getting into the last set of modules, we do spend an entire module talking about fee agreements and how fees work in chapter 7 and 13 and hourly and tracking time. And there's some great automations now we can talk about here with signature software, e-signature, how you get paid. So module 9 will have some pretty good updates for that. And then I love marketing. And in case you couldn't tell whenever you talk to me, marketing a bankruptcy practice can be really cool. There are a lot of ways to do it. There are all kinds of options. And we talk module 10 about how to find your clients, where to reach your clients at. And automation and marketing is probably the biggest transformation since we originally did this course. And so you can use ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, any of those things out there. I'm again using them interchangeably, but this comes in a lot here for the marketing of bankruptcy practice. We'll talk about networking, marketing budgets for online ads, some lawyer stereotyping we'll get into. And a lot of this is just to give you all the tools so you can plan your practice. So module 10 is really fun. I'll try not to drag on too much today about it, but and then module 11, we get into bankruptcy cases every attorney should know. We're looking at some of the repeat themes that have occurred in bankruptcy, the cases that get called by like almost like, again, the Kleenex, like you talk about a case and it's the standard case for a bankruptcy particular issue. So bankruptcy cases every attorney should know is module 11. There are some pretty cool automations and how you can update on bankruptcy cases that you should know. And then I did a bonus module because when I was originally recording this 4 years ago, I remembered that there were so many things I learned by listening and learning from other attorneys and other cases. And so module 12, which is called the bonus module, is kind of those war stories and things that you can do to learn more about bankruptcy and be on top of things. So the war stories one is just a little bit more off the cuff, things that I've seen, things that I've heard of, I've read about, that were interesting and that taught me a lot. So those are the modules. The course information is, clicking through. The course, there's the link for it. It's on the Lawyer Success Network website. I will put it into chat on the recording. And it's just live. Building a bankruptcy practice is the follow-up on it. The course is $19.97. It's $300 off if you buy today. So my early bird special ends today. It ends at midnight tonight, August 31st. And I always remind people that the cost for this course is less than you should be charging for a single bankruptcy case. So adding a practice area for the price of less than one case, I think is a pretty good deal. And there's also a lot of support. I do a lot of helping review initial first time filings, questions. And then if you want more support, even I have lots of consulting I've done over the years where we've added consulting packages on to help review multiple cases, strategies, marketing, all kinds of things. If you want to charge for consultations, I have a whole session on that. So many different things you can do, but I wanted to put it out there what the course actually covers. If you have questions, let me know. If you want to sign up today, I would encourage it. You do get the $300 off, so it's down to $16.97. And then if you don't sign up today, then it is $19.97, still a deal. So I hope to see you there. It will be a lot of fun to have some Q&A at the end of each module. The original recording did not have that because it was a recorded course. So hope to see you there. Have fun. Share with all your friends who want to add bankruptcy, and I will see you all soon.